Hi everyone in English 1301, it's Dr. E and I'm here with your week 16 instructional video. Week 16, y'all, we're almost there. We are closing in on the finish line. We just have about a week and a half left of things to finish up, and then you can finally celebrate finishing the semester. I know it's been tough for many of you, but you powered through and there will be plenty to celebrate, I hope, at the end of the semester. So I'm going to walk through, all the things and items that you need to check off your list this week, but I do want to kind of mention that Sunday evening, your multimedia project plan is due, and that's where you're just kind of thinking through and outlining your overall project. Because it's due Sunday evening, I may not be able to get you that feedback until Tuesday evening. As they're coming in, I'm trying to grade them and give you that feedback, but just make sure you're keeping an eye on D2L because I fully expect that the feedback will be taken into consideration when it comes to your final submission in the discussion area. That's where we're sharing our multimedia projects. Okay, so make sure you're looking at that feedback. Amidst all that, I'm also going to be working on providing you with your final portfolio feedback as well as any other assignments that may be remaining. I also want you to remember that you have the option to revise and resubmit some of those assignments from the semester, so make sure that you're looking at all the instructions and information in that area of D2L as well as the extra credit area. Okay, so if you have questions about those things, please look at the instructions. If even after looking at the instructions and any of the videos related to any of the assignments, if you're still kind of lost, then reach out to me for sure. All right, I'm going to pull up D2L for this week. So we're in, again, week 16. That's amazing. So for this week, it says to review my feedback for the project, but I said don't wait on that feedback to start the artistic portion of the assignment. Please don't leave this until the last minute. So sometimes folks will be waiting and waiting for that feedback when you can still move forward with your video or your artwork or your baking project or whatever it is that you have planned. My feedback usually relates more to just conceptually, are there things you need to tweak a little bit in your writing or how you're approaching the assignment? Okay, so you can start moving forward with the artistic portion so you're not leaving that until the last minute. Okay, so on Monday, this video will be available, right? Which hopefully, you're watching now, obviously. Review that feedback, which at the latest will be there by about 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday. And then make sure that you have the work ready to go for the discussion area. So on Thursday, this coming Thursday, you're going to submit your project to the discussion area by 11:59 p.m. You can always post sooner, that's fine. I really remember to review the guidelines. Again, following the instructions, that's part of your overall grade, right? So make sure that you are drafting those paragraphs, your 3 paragraphs in Microsoft Word or Grammarly or someplace where you can check the spelling and the grammar and everything. It's a writing class, y'all, right? So make sure you're reviewing that. And then when you're ready, you can just copy and paste that information into the text box of the discussion post area. Some students in the past have uploaded their 3 paragraphs in a document. That's not the assignment, right? So I want you to imagine that you're looking at other people's projects and there's just a blank page with 2 documents for other students to look at. We don't want that. We want those 3 paragraphs to be available and visible so that people can read and get a sense of what your project is and understand what it is they're opening in that JPEG, if it's an art piece or a PowerPoint or a link to a YouTube video. Those 3 paragraphs give your colleagues some context and help them understand the choices that you made, why you chose a PowerPoint or why you chose a piece of art, right? Or what's going on in that piece of art. If we're just looking at, a watercolor, we don't have any context. So the 3 paragraphs give that context to your colleagues and to me, right? All right. So make sure you're reviewing those guidelines. And then by Sunday, you'll need to respond to the work of 5 other people. So remember that this is a little bit more intense than other weeks, but it's because we really want to look at other people's creativity, look at how other people are kind of working through some of the ideas related to food this semester. This is not a place where you're going to be critiquing one another's writing. That's not the goal. The goal is just to, congratulate on what these people have accomplished and to show that you are interested, that you know, are engaging. You know, this is part of what it means to have that online discussion, right? So you need to respond to 5 other folks in your class. I really encourage you, don't just choose the first 3 people that are listed, right? Or the first 5 people. Go in and look for folks who maybe haven't had others engage with their work, or don't have 10 other people responding to them. Let's give everybody some feedback and some information, right? And again, this is not a critique. So avoid the urge you may have to critique their writing or anything. Be sure also that you, as your original posting, you need to go in and respond to the people who have, you know, commented on your work. You know, whether it's just to say a quick, hey, thanks for looking at my work, or hey, I get what you're saying about this. It is a conversation, so we need it to be more than one-sided, right? So go back in and make sure that you, as the original poster of your project, are engaging with the people who have commented on your work, okay? That's part of your grade. So your project itself, that's the 100 points, and then your engagement and participation, that's 25 points by Sunday. And then it says for next week, you need to visit the revise and resubmit area. That's just if you're looking to make absolutely sure you've done everything in the class to get the best possible grade, okay? And then plan to complete the course reflection, and that will be in the quiz area of D2L. So those are the things that we don't have a final exam, we don't have a final essay. These projects are we're wrapping up the major assignments, and then next week we're finishing up those other things, including a course reflection. Okay, so you can take a look at that on the schedule if you have any questions or concerns. But I'm going to walk you through kind of what we need to review and revisit before submitting your project this week. Okay. So the first thing is there is that instructional video. I've had some students reach out to me this past week, not necessarily in this class, but asking about, well, what am I supposed to be writing about, or what am I supposed to be doing? And my initial response is watch the video. The video goes through all of the instructions in the handout, and it also provides you with examples for this class, right? I have some general examples that I share every semester just because it's helpful to see what different students have done, just to kind of get your ideas going. But I've also shared something specific to what we talk about in terms of food in this class. So look at that video to kind of see how food is connecting to a particular assignment. I don't want that video to limit your ideas, and I'm seeing in some of your project plans that you're thinking outside the box, which is great, right? I want you to choose a project that is really suited to what your interests are and what you want to share about food, right? Please watch the video. And then you also have the handout, which goes through lots of details and information, and it has links to those examples, and it walks through those requirements. Y'all, I can't stress enough that paragraph 2 is where people are generally going to lose points. I would like that not to be the case this semester, so make sure that in paragraph 2, that's kind of our research paragraph. That's where we're bringing in Choi, you know, what Americans can learn from other food cultures, right? Her article, Jennifer 8 Lee's video or article, Ron Finley's video. That's where you're making connections to our class. Otherwise, this is just a project about food. I mean, that's okay, but we need to go deeper than that and make connections to those things that we've learned about this semester, where it's dealing with food as culture from Choi, or whether it's thinking about how we research and identify different ways foods have developed with Jennifer 8 Lee, or Ron Finley's notion of, you know, working to produce our own kind of food or think more sustainably about food and access. We need to make those connections, and that's what paragraph 2 is about. And when I say cite, you know, information, it means pull quotes and give credit. Show some MLA formatting in there. You don't need a works cited. That's something we've already worked on with the portfolio, but you need to properly quote, right? And offer citations, in-text citations, right? Okay, so review this as well as looking at the video, please. Please do this. Okay, and then this is where you'll post your project. So if you go to the discussion area, just again, out the handout in the video, and it says to click start a new thread. And y'all, please use your name. I've been pretty easygoing about what we're titling in our subject line, but I need your name to be there because it really helps me with grading. And it helps people who are responding to you to quickly find your name and be able to then write to you as an individual, right? So if you click start new thread, put your name in the subject line. Then you're going to paste your 3 paragraphs here after they've been fully revised and edited, right? And then if you need to, if say you don't have something like a link to YouTube, you're going to add your work as an attachment here, right? So you need to make sure you're saving your file somewhere, whether it's a JPEG because it's an image or it's a PowerPoint. Click upload and then find that document and add that and then click post, okay? Your project's due by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, and then you need 5 responses, right, by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And I put here, you need to respond to the people who give you some feedback, you know, on your project. And then remember that your responses to colleagues are really not about critiquing writing, right? It's more about ideas, you know, letting them know how well or how unique or, you know, just how interesting their ideas are. Show them that you've looked at their PowerPoint or you've read their short story or whatever it is that they've created. People put time and effort into this. Put some time and effort into responding to one another, okay? If you do have any questions as we work through the week, you can always reach out to me. But again, a lot of times my response is going to be look at the video or look at the handout, right? So make sure you're doing some of that work before reaching out to me, and you can always post in the Q&A area of the discussion board. Okay, I do want to note that with the feedback for your final portfolio, it just because of time constraints, it may not be as in-depth, right, as the feedback previously, because I really want to get through the work. But note that again, I'm pulling up your draft and putting that side by side with your finished product. So if you have questions about the, you know, what grade you got, sometimes it's helpful to look at your draft submission next to or in addition to your final submission to see some of the things that maybe you didn't correct or maybe you didn't pay attention to, that kind of thing. But ultimately, if you have lasting questions about that grade, you can always reach out to me and we can schedule a WebEx conversation. It was great to see some of you last week and I really appreciate you making the time. It's always nice to see folks, right? So we can always schedule a meeting if you have any questions. If you do have last minute concerns about your grade, that's where the revise and resubmit option comes in, as well as the extra credit. Okay, so make sure you're looking at those options. All right, y'all, hang in there. We're so close, and I can't wait to see all your creativity in your projects.